You said one very interesting thing, which actually I'm sure every Indian founder is curious about. He said, "I sell to Indian companies, and most of our clients are Indian." Now there is a strong idea and bias in everyone's head that Indians don't buy software,
Yeah.
right? I have seen enough Reddit threads that say, we don't sell to Indians because they don't play blah blah blah,
Correct.
right? Feels very demotivating. It feels
Correct.
like, okay, I can only sell outside the country. This is such a huge market. Why not? So when you say this, it gives me butterflies. It makes me excited. Makes me very happy. Can you talk to us about how the Indian market really is, since you have Indian customers, and can you get rid of these biases if they are really biases?
Got it. Got it. I'll tell
Yeah.
you a very interesting story behind this. This is exactly okay. So, okay, let me complete the Hydro journey first. So, when we started building Hydro, eventually the blockchain e-locker was gone. There was no
Yeah.
requirement of a blockchain e-locker because we're not building for digitizing employment records anymore, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
that was we're done away with. In higher
Mm.
shot, now this is 2021, latter half of the year when we realize
Huh.
that the funds are drying up, there is limited money that we already have, we need to raise funds. And
Yeah.
that is when we got funded. Our first investor who came in was Binny Bansal, Three State Capital, the former founder of Flipkart. So
Flipkart. Yeah.
we had a lot of commitments from other people, but then Three State Capital almost did the entire round. We raised 1.5 million there. And this is in February 2022 when we got a term sheet.
Hmm.
We were undergoing that process of, getting the term sheet signed and getting the funds in. And we also coincidentally got selected to Y Combinator, right? So
Wow.
before we went into Y Combinator, we had already raised funds. So we didn't need money from YC, but
Mm,
they
Hmm.
still
mm,
give you 500K there and plus allow you to
Yeah.
raise, because we didn't wanted to raise, but still wanted to have a flavor of how demo day looks like. So, we
Oh yeah.
opened up a account and immediately, over emails it
Yeah.
got, and we'll talk about maybe fundraising in India versus non-India separately, because that is entirely different experience that I have went
yeah.
through, right?
Very
So
interesting.
Ah.
we were able to raise 1 more million there on the demo day itself without any formal pitching the product or whatever. So 2.5 million is total what we raised in 2022.
Nice.
Right now, uh, from there we realized that this product is not going anywhere and we wanted to pivot into something else. It took us 1.5 years to figure out what that pivot was, because we didn't want to build another product which does not scale. And we
Mm,
Yeah.
talked to YC. We were like, hey, this is what our dilemma is. The product that you invested in is not something that we
Hmm.
think scales here. We spoke to CHROs here and they're like, this is not a problem and things like that. They sort of prompted us to think more. And then we came up with the product that this is something that, people are looking for. Compensation management software is a defined space, so much of
Yeah.
gap, no softwares, blah blah. They said yes, you can solve for that. We said we'll solve for, okay, we'll be in the US and solve for.
mm,
They're like, why do you want to solve for US? We said because it's the biggest market and all of that. They said,
Hmm.
hey, you stay there, you currently do not have US visa, which means you cannot come here for a while.
Yeah.
okay.
It is not a big market. Okay, how big a
Hmm.
market is India? I said it is at
Hmm.
max it will be like $50 million business. They said you
Hmm.
are currently at zero. You're saying it's just a
Yeah.
$50 million market. If you
Yeah.
come back to me and say at 5 million ARR that now I need to go somewhere else because
US.
by
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
there's nobody to sell to. Why do I
Ah.
believe that? You're not even at 1 million ARR. Why is that a problem to
Yeah.
scale in India, which is your home turf, where you have some advantage, you have some intros?
Yeah.
Why can't you
Exactly.
scale
Contacts.
to
Yeah.
exactly? Why
Yeah.
can't you scale to? You already have a working product where you sell to the same ICP, right?
Nice.
Hmm.
Why don't you build the first million ARR there and then figure out? So the
Yeah.
answer to your question is first 5 million ARR, first million ARR. Of course, if it is built globally, if you have some leverage globally, if you can relocate to the
Sure.
US, all
Yeah.
of that is fine. You can still build for the US or you can still build for a global market.
Hmm.
B2B SaaS again does not work for India. All of that is true. I'm not saying it is
Hmm.
not true. But
Hmm.
if you're building for the first 5 million ARR, That is not a challenge. That ideally is not a challenge, right? It should be. Of
Okay.
course, the speed at which you get there might vary, but you
Yeah.
cannot come back and say that I cannot scale to 5 million ARR in India. There have been enough products who have been able to do that, right?
I
Unless
see.
you as a
I see.
founder want to build for the US, you are there. Uh, I don't see a reason of why not to sell in India if that is a problem. Of course, you can sell. I sell the same product 5x costlier in the US. I
Yeah,
don't
of
have to
course.
service that much. My margins as B2B SaaS in India would be
Mm.
close to 75%, in the US would be close to 88%. So those
Yeah.
differentiations are of course there. So whatever
Mm.
you've heard about selling to Indian users,
Mm.
not getting money, that is somewhat true, but I don't think it is that small a market that you cannot scale to a 10 million ARR business. I mean, some HRMS
Yeah.
systems, HR1, all of these guys have scaled to 10 million. Keka for that matter, right? They have
Keka, yeah,
such,
Keka.
such big businesses built out of India. So
Yeah.
I think while you still should build for the world from India, if you have some advantage, some leverage here, you should still exploit
Mm.
that and also solve for this geography, because there's enough money to be made here as well. When I say enough, it is not
Mm.
much, but it is not like it will become VC funded eventually if you scale only in India. You'll still have to go beyond India, but I think my answer to that would be how big. For
Hmm.
that
Yeah,
big, whether
yeah.
India or not is the answer. We also
I
as
mean, if
a
someone is, if someone is bootstrapping, you would say go to 1 million in India. That's okay. 1 million is a lot of money if you've just bootstrapped.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, many
Ah.
companies, right? In Fido, 90% of their business comes out of India still, right? Large enterprises. There
Yeah.
are more than 500 companies in India, upwards, let's say 5,000 employees. That is huge. Out of those, now imagine
Mm.
for CompUp, those 500 companies, 90% not using a software. I have such big opportunity to first sell to them,
Wow.
right? Immediately I'm able to
Yeah,
get 20 customers. I'm able to build
crazy.
I'm able to build a crazy ARR. There's no
Hmm.
Yeah,
reason not to go to them first, right?
yeah,
Hmm.
So
yeah.
I think that is the reason why we went after India, because we were here. We didn't have US visas. We couldn't go there, and it was easy for
Okay,
us to do research, solve for them. And now it is time for us. Our 1 to 10 journey will also be beyond India. But I think 0 to 1
okay.
nearly our 90% of revenue of the first 1 million
Mm.
comes from India.